So these are one of those things that you are going to run into, even on a vehicle that's not, 2026 minus 1965. Um, you can put penetrating spray, you can do everything you want. You can use the fancy tools that are supposed to keep you from rounding these things out, but it doesn't matter. The only thing that I've ever found that works, and what I'm about to do, is a set of ice grips and a hammer tap. That's the only thing I've ever gotten. Worst case on this one, since I'm replacing everything, I can just cut it, pull it out the back after I knock this clip out, and then replace everything like I'm going to anyway. But I like to try to do things the right way because you just never know. But we'll see how this goes. So this is what I'm talking about if you've never done this before. Takes a few times sometimes, but you get on there and clamp it as tight as you can get it. Probably like a 6 on the Bush-Kadush scale. And give it the old hammer smack, and sure enough, loosens up. And you just continue to back it out and move on about your day. Something to consider whenever you purchase these brake line kits. So there's several model specific, if you will. So they're not perfect. So like, for example, this one, when you look at it like that, start putting the angles together, things are a little different. So you're going to have to tweak it. And with stainless steel, it's a win-lose situation. It's very durable. It's much harder to kink, but that means it's also harder to work with as far as bending the way you want. But we'll make that work. You can see there's a little bit of difference here too, but that one's pretty close. But, when you look at this one's the one that goes under the engine, connects the two sides together. This one goes on the axle. So I ordered the hard lines, and I forgot, I'll show you in a minute, underneath the car, I forgot to order the soft line that goes from the junction block. So you got from this one, and some of you have seen this before, so you're going to wince. This is the master cylinder of death, the single reservoir. So it sends out one line to this junction block, which I had to dig through all my parts over there because I did not leave it on the car. But I did leave the bolt in the car. So, there's that. So you send in one line here, and then you feed front brakes, rear brakes independently, but it's all through one. So if that fails, that's why they call it the master cylinder of death. I'm not terribly concerned because I'm not going to do any inclement weather driving. The system's still fine. I'm not doing any racing or anything like that. And eventually when I upgrade, it'll be to disc brakes anyway, so I'll be replacing all that stuff. But yep, so got to replace this line here. That goes underneath the engine, comes out here. It'll connect to that junction block. That's the rear line that I just finished fishing through. That one goes all the way back to the rear end, which I'll show you in a minute. That's the one I was showing you where I broke it loose with the vice grips. That soft line is what I forgot to order. So I got to order that. And then the hard lines that connect to the back wheels, that's easy day. So, and then I got one of the soft lines installed already. That guy right there, connected to the back of the drum. Then I went and pulled out the other one. Not something I was expecting. So it comes with the little banjo clip. It did not come with the copper crush washer that the other one did. So I'm going to have to take this to the auto part store and get one. That's a little hard to get an airtight seal or watertight brake line, brake fluid type, whatever. Yeah. You can see the new line that I already routed. That one was pretty simple. Just tucks into all those little clamps, and then when it gets up forward, I'll tuck that in closer once I get the final clamp installed. But this was the soft line, which is, right there. So that's the piece I need to order. And then those two lines, there's a block there that feeds each wheel. So I got to take that off next and get this line. You can kind of see the difference in front and rear suspension. So I replaced the coils, but you can see everything else has never, ever, ever been touched. And this is after scraping off a lot of it. You can see every time you work on it, you just get stuff all over the floor. And this is the rear end after I had scraped all that stuff off years ago, replaced the pinion seal, new U-joints, all that good stuff. New axle bearings, axle seals, cleaned up inside there, new C-clips, good oil, all that good stuff. So, continuing on with brakes. All right, so this one's going a little different. So this one came out no problem. So looking from the rear, this is that main line that comes in, converts to a rubber hose, feeds into this junction block, feeds to the right tire, left tire. So this one, I clipped these ends off years ago. Where'd it go? There it is. I clipped these things off years ago. So these have the little tabs on the rear end that if you don't take your time with them, they will break off, and those are welded on, so good luck. So you just take it up enough to where you can pull that line out, then you're good to go. And that's all that is. Hard line, no flex. To that one, same thing on this side. You got 2 clips, then it shoots over there. So I've already tested those lines. This line is the one that's not going to come out. So I'm going to pull this tab. This already clipped it there. So I'm just going to pull this out completely, take it out, do that in the vise where I'm not going to give it and clean up that junction block. So we'll be good to go there. So once I got everything in the vise, didn't give it a choice, which is what I was trying to say on that last clip before it went all digital crazy. Got the distribution block and the bracket out, got them sitting in the parts washer, let them sit for a couple hours, and I'll clean them up, make sure everything's clear. So this is one of the reasons why you absolutely don't want to use these same hoses. So you can see in there, I'll try to zoom in on it. There's some crap in there for sure. And it's partially restricted. So one of the biggest reasons that these things need to get replaced is the rubber over time swells. So it'll restrict flow. It'll start to deteriorate and you get all that crap in there. And there's no filter in the brake system. But you can see these lines are fairly close. You know, a couple bends I'll have to tweak with a little bit, but you know, not bad. So I need to get this. A crush washer for the front left side, and then we should be back in business. And next, fuel. All right, all the brake lines are in. I had to tweak a fair amount. You know, some of it was a little different length, so you can be like, who put these brake lines in? But for now, I'm okay with it because they're all safe. They're all connected. Sooner or later, I'll learn how to bend my own, flare everything, and then they'd be perfect. Right. This line was surprisingly easy. It goes up underneath the engine, both sides. You can see my concern here with these soft lines. So I double checked. Every place that sells them sells the same length. But if you turn the wheels before it hits the suspension stop, those things are tight. So I don't believe that that's right. So I'm going to do some more digging. But on both sides, it's the same. Now I'll go up top and look at the master cylinder. All right, all the lines are in, junction block is in. So you can see why people didn't like these and why, you know, if your master cylinder fails, it's kind of a big deal because there's only one outlet and it feeds all your brakes. But everything went great, and I was able to do something that hasn't been done in years, which is now the car is sitting on skates, all 4 wheels. I mean, yeah, sure, the alignment's hilariously out of whack, but I got the service manual, and these things are surprisingly easy to dial everything in, so I'll get it really close, then the alignment shop can fix it up. But now, me and my wife are about to push it outside, blow some dust off, clean out the shop a little bit, and then put it back in. But super awesome to finally be making enough progress to move this thing around. I might even flip it around and put it engine side first, but who knows.